The Paper 7, a color reflective LCD display that's trying to battle with the big boys of the e-paper industry. This device is one of the first color devices that can operate at this level of efficiency, competency, and functionality that is trying to bridge the gap between e-paper and a regular tablet. A very quick breakdown of our LCD is essentially you need light or you can't see the screen, which will become evident very soon, so let's dive in. First things first, let's look at the unit itself. This is built very well. It is extremely tight. It feels very smooth. It's made with nice materials. It looks like it's tooled a little bit outside the box too. It kind of pinches to a point here. I really like that. You have a USB-C on the bottom with a speaker and a microphone. You have nothing on the bind side, although it gives you a little bit of room to hold on to. That's really nice. On the right side, you get the volume up and down and another microphone, and then on top you get a power button. On the back, this is gorgeous. You get this leather insert, their logo recessed in the screen a little bit with a mirror finish, and a very nice camera with a camera bump. Unfortunately, there is no flash package. Just to give you an idea that this is not intentionally dark, we'll put some stuff in the frame. You'll see that this is white right here, and you'll see that the room is lit side to side the exact same. And yes, do not worry, we will be comparing this against multiple screen styles in this video, so stay tuned. Really quick though, this is an e-reader in a well-lit room with no glow light on whatsoever, so that just gives you an indication that, I mean, kinda, yeah, this thing is that dark. It is unseemingly next level dim. It is very, 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 very dim. This is one of the dimmest experiences we've seen on a seemingly commercially available product. And no, there is no glow light to assist. There's no glow light, backlight, front light, anything you want to call it. How this will work is this. You turn it to the light. You will need the light. You have to have the light. If it's dark, you can't see anything. That's the end of the game. So you must have light. And if you turn it about, I would say, 20 degrees away from you, it's gone. And same thing holds true for that way. It's gone. And if you turn it too sharply to one side, it's gone. And again, for comparisons against an e-reader, if you go like that, you'll still see the e-reader every step of the way. If you go down, it's gone. If you go like this, you see the e-reader. I can go to twice the angle of the unit itself and it will be there. So just some initial thoughts about the unit. We're not knocking it. A lot of you guys think we're very personal towards these. We've covered thousands of devices over the past near 20 years. This is just an objective look. We have no ties with this company whatsoever. If you turn it this way, it's gone. If you don't, it's not gone. So this is the true look at how this thing would handle if you have it physically in your hands. You might be reading something, or you might be going through your settings here, and you say, oh wait, I can't really see it. Boom, now it looks great. And then, you know, you're walking a little bit, and it goes like that, and it's gone. You gotta adjust. You have to constantly work against it as it's working against you at the same time. So that is the initial kind of first looks thoughts of how we view this unit. Now, that's not a good or bad thing, it's just a thing, because if you are in a well-lit room and it always looks like this, well then you are having a great time because the thing looks phenomenal. That looks so good, and it's not using a backlight. This is using 100% reflectivity. Now there's a crux to this, because if you go like this, you'll see that it is true reflective. You're blocking everything. It's like an eclipse. Look at that. It's going right over the screen. So when it's good, it's great. And this is a matter of when it's good, it's great. Because if you have something blocking it, there's nothing to compensate. There's no supplementary system in place to allow the unit to operate outside of the direct extreme reflectivity required. Now, we have seen some other devices like the Hanspree and the Q5 and the Eizai tablet, and those use a very high reflectivity percentage on the screen itself, although none of those are color, at least the ones we've reviewed. This one does seem to be that it really needs to harness that light source, and if it doesn't, it's not going to be very pleasant to use. But we need to compare this against a few other devices to really draw a final conclusion. Alright, here are the two units side by side with the easeeye Paper 2 and the Paper 7. So you'll see that if we grab both of these, yes, the Paper 2 is not color, but if we grab both of these and we tilt them down, you'll see that the easeeye is still a little bit visible. It has a little bit better of a reflectivity angle than the 7 does. It also allows the screen to absorb a little bit more light. Now, the overall consensus of the two units is that yes, of course, the easeeye is black and white, but if you see here and you turn them both off really quick, you'll see that this is very, very bright. It has a natural high level of reflectivity, and this is very dark. It almost looks like you've shut off a TV. So when it comes to the reflectivity, this is a lot brighter, although there's no color, and this has color, although it's significantly darker. This is where the divide is quite great. So again, you'll see that there is no glow light on. It does have a glow light. You can turn it on. We're just not going to do that. So it is off into 0. There we go. So let's look at an ebook. And this is just some text we got on Google. It doesn't matter what it looks like. What matters is how it's displayed. So when we have an ebook reader, it looks like this. Of course, if you tilt it to a 5-degree angle, you'll still see it. And same with that. You can even still read what's on the screen like that. Now, unfortunately, can't much be said for a paper device that, goes away if you tilt it wrong effectively. So let's just see the angles in which we can kind of see these before they disappear. So next to an ebook reader like that and like that. Now when they both get light, you'll see that the Paper 7 actually diffuses the light quite well. You can see right through it, whereas the Kindle, you actually can't read what's on the screen. It doesn't break down the light quite as good as whatever they're using on the paper. So kind of a little bit shocked that under a direct beam of light, this actually performs better than this. Moving over to something closer to the Paper 7 in terms of overall, let's say, vibrancy, is a color device. In this case, a color Kindle. So you'll see the same thing holds true in that you can really tilt these down and not see anything, but what we're seeing now is a closer level of grayness. And again, we get that same shock of light here to both screens, and the Paper 7 is doing a great job of absorbing that light and sending it back into your eyes, whereas the Kindle kind of just suffers along. So, although the reading angle is poor, it does have its pluses, it does have its pros. Let's compare it to an LCD device, LCD, LED, TFT, whatever you want to call it, basically your phone. And if you go like this, you'll see our studio lights and no studio lights. So that's the benefit of this even further, is that coming from a tablet, you can really see its promise on the Paper 7. Look at that. That's a mirror. And they're both as fast as each other. You do get a little bit of a better viewing angle of something that's always active, because a phone is always on, you know what I mean? It's pumping light from behind the panel, it's always on, it's always moving. So is this. This doesn't have any sort of state holding technology like a Garmin watch does with an MIP memory and pixel, but it's really just bridging the gap between e-paper and LCD LED, the typical standardized kind of technology that we see on our computer monitors and our TVs and everything else. What else can this unit do? It can do anything that you would ever think it could do on a regular tablet. You can utilize YouTube. It plays things at full frame rate. There's no drop in the frames. There's no drop in the refresh modes or anything like that. You have all of your Google services. You have web meetings with the camera at the top. You have the Google Play Store. You have online browsing. You can go over to Google and you can look at pictures of all sorts of things, and you're never going to be in a position where this won't work and it won't function, because it is a tablet and it is running an LCD screen. It's just RLCD, which means, again, if you're scrubbing through, there's no light coming from behind the panel. So if you block it, you can't see anything. You need the light from other sources to come on in, jumble up all those pixels and reflect the light into the cones of your eyes. And that's the only way it can develop an image. Can't develop an image any other way, because your eyes aren't able to see in complete darkness like that. You need the light to bounce off of things in order to get there. But in terms of refresh, it's just as fast as literally any phone you've ever used, any PC you've ever used. There's no slowdowns. Everything is extremely fluid. It is a very, very fluid experience. You can go ahead and utilize inertia without worrying about refreshes or things being burnt in the background or any sort of artifacting of any kind. You go through your files. There is nothing that this can't do in terms of it being a tablet. A lot of people hear the word paper and they think, oh, it's an e-reader. This is not an e-reader. It's not going to be the same as an e-paper enabled device like a remote or a picture frame or an e-book reader or an e-note or luggage tags or an e-paper watch. It is not e-paper. It is called the Paper 7 because it simulates e-paper. It comes very close to doing so, although it is not. Finally, we're just going to look at the camera because, well, it has a camera. Now, typically on e-paper enabled devices, the cameras are awful. Although they take pictures the way it is supposed to look once you take it, this one is LCD. So as long as you have light to be able to see your subject, it is going to operate to the full fluidity that you could ever expect a regular tablet to do. And we keep saying that, but a lot of people think that this isn't a tablet. Yes, this will be the same as your Samsung tablet. This will be the same as your Chromebook screen, the very screen you're watching this video on right now. Unless there's any true hardcore fans that it's watching this video on an e-paper monitor or something, and leave a comment down below. That'd be pretty crazy. But overall, this does do as advertised. Is the Paper 7 any good? Yes, it is, when you have light. As you saw from the video, there was more time this device sat in a state where you couldn't see the screen than you could in a well-lit room. The whole thing is insanely dark at most circumstances. Even in a well-lit studio room, this device is unreadable if so much as your hand gets in the way. This has to be, in 2 decades of this business, single-handedly the darkest device we've ever come across. The whole thing at times looks like the screen is off. However, all of that goes away when you do have adequate light. The thing is vibrant, it doesn't suffer any of the slowdowns of e-paper, and you get all of the eye benefits of not having light blasting in your eyes. This is honestly a matter of, there's a time and a place. You do need to ask yourself if your daily life can accommodate a device that is constantly working against you. However, all things considered, the Paper 7 is definitely an interesting device, and it does do as advertised. Thanks for watching, thanks for all of our supporters, and we will see you on the next one.